When you think about retail in India, DMart is an absolute titan. It's this finely tuned machine built on one simple, powerful promise, giving you the lowest possible price. For years, its model has just seemed completely invincible, crushing competitors with some serious efficiency. But what if that invincibility is now being tested by a challenger that nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming? So, let's get right into it.
Okay, get this number in your head. 36,000 rupees. That is how much revenue DMart pulls in for every single square foot of store space every single year. I mean, to give you some context, that's 2.5 times more productive than any of its rivals. This one number, it basically explains their entire empire. It's all built on just staggering efficiency. So how on earth did they pull it off?
While DMart's success isn't some kind of magic, it's actually a masterclass in pure, brilliant operations. They live and breathe this philosophy of everyday low price. And to get there, they follow a playbook that's brilliantly simple in theory, but as it turns out, incredibly hard for anyone else to copy.
And this playbook, it's like a flywheel. Each part feeds the next. DMart owns its stores, so boom, no rent. They pay their suppliers in about 10 days, not the industry standard of 70, and in return, they lock in the best discounts. They expand in these tight, profitable clusters and stock fewer but faster-moving items. Every single step saves money, creating this powerful loop of efficiency that, at the end of the day, means lower prices for you.
All right, so what are people actually putting in their carts with all these savings? Well, almost 57% of DMart's revenue comes from food, groceries, staples, you name it. This is their absolute bread and butter. Sure, the other categories are important, but the real battleground for DMart has always been that big monthly grocery haul.
For the longest time, everyone just assumed that the big e-commerce players would be the ones to disrupt DMart. But you know what? It never really happened. And why is that? It's because DMart wasn't built for someone buying one or two things. It was built for the one big trip.
There's this quote from Rory Sutherland's book, Alchemy, that just nails it perfectly. Online shopping is a very good way for 10 people to buy one thing, but it is not a good way for one person to buy 10 things. Seriously, think about it. Have you ever tried to order 40 different items online for your monthly groceries? It's a pain, right? At DMart, you just fill up one cart, one time. That's the problem traditional e-commerce just could never quite solve.
But now there's a totally new kind of player on the field, one built on a completely different model, quick commerce. We're talking about the world of 10-minute delivery from apps like Zepto and Blinkit. Now, what do we all think of when we hear quick commerce? You're probably thinking about those emergency runs, right? You ran out of milk, you need one onion for dinner, maybe you have a sudden craving for ice cream. They serve a completely different need from DMart's big shopping trip, right? Well, that's what we all thought. But a recent deep dive from the analysts over at ICICI Securities, well, they dug into this and uncovered a trend that completely flips that idea on its head. They looked into what these quick commerce apps were actually selling, and they found something that should make the folks at DMart sit up and pay very, very close attention.
And here's the kicker. The reality is, to make their business model work, these apps need to get you to spend more on each order. And how do they do that? By aggressively pushing into large, bulk-sized products. They're not just your emergency corner store anymore. They are coming directly for your monthly supermarket run. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. Let's actually put them head-to-head. How do these super fast delivery apps really stack up against a giant like DMart when it comes to the very thing DMart is famous for, bulk items at a low price?
All right, let's take something super basic, like detergent. On the left, you see DMart's largest offering is a 4-kilo pack. But look on the right, Zepto and Blinkit are selling a massive 6-kilo pack. This isn't just about matching DMart on bulk items. In some cases, they are literally going bigger. This is a direct shot at the bulk shopper.
Okay, but the big question is always price, right? That's DMart's whole game. And look, DMart is still the undisputed discount king. That 34% off on Pampers is tough to beat. But the competition is way closer than you might think. They're offering 25 and 27% off on the exact same product. For the convenience of getting it delivered to your door, that price gap is getting a lot smaller.
So if you average it all out across a whole basket of these big items, what the industry calls SKUs, the story becomes crystal clear. DMart is offering an average discount of 23%. Zepto and Blinkit, they're both at 13%. So yeah, DMart is still 10 percentage points cheaper, But for the very first time, there's a direct competitor on bulk items, and the price of that insane convenience is now just 10%.
So what we're looking at here is a huge, fascinating battle for the future of value retail in India. This is a fundamental clash between two completely different philosophies on how to deliver value to a customer.
This is really a clash of titans. On one side, you have DMart's perfectly engineered physical machine, built over decades for one thing and one thing only, the absolute lowest cost. It's proven, it's profitable. On the other side, you've got this lightning-fast digital network built for pure speed, now pivoting to use that speed to compete on bulk items and price. It's sustainable efficiency versus subsidized convenience.
And for a giant like DMart, this whole situation brings up some really serious risks. The competition is heating up way faster than anyone probably expected. Their own e-commerce efforts might be struggling to catch up. And the big one, there's a risk of a fundamental shift where more and more of us shoppers might just decide that ultimate convenience is worth paying a little extra for over the absolute lowest price.
And really, that brings it all back to you. It's the central question for the future of Indian retail. When it comes time to do your big monthly shop, what's going to win? Is the 10% price advantage at DMart still compelling enough to make the trip? Or has the convenience of getting your entire grocery list delivered in minutes become the new true definition of value? The answer is going to shape how we all shop for the next decade.